guys, today we're going to take a look at a 1964 Thunderbird convertible. I've always kind of liked these cars. They're kind of a gentleman's hot rod type car, you know, a banker's hot rod. And this one's about a 2-hour drive away, so enjoy the ride. This car's definitely got some issues, so we can hopefully show you guys how we're going to take care of them all and make it a better car. All right, we're going to check the front end on this car today, and the one thing I noticed this when I was looking at it, but I figured I'd show you guys, is it's got a power steering leak. You can see it when I just drove it in now and dripped on the floor. It's definitely leaking somewhere up here, so I'm going to have to take a look at this and figure out what's going on and see what it needs. Alright, I took a look at this power steering. You can see there's a lot of stuff wet. I hope you guys can see that. It appears to be something I'm going to need to see from the bottom side, so I'm going to try to get it up on the lift later and take a look at it that way. I think that'll be easier to find the leak on this. But it is a fairly substantial leak, so shouldn't be too hard to find. You can see it down there. There's a bunch of trans fluid sitting on that member down there, that cross member. So it's coming from up here somewhere. I just have to figure out exactly where. That line right down there looks a little too sharp a bend. I may have to fix that. And there's a chance that's what it is as well. So anyway, we'll get it up on the lift and take a better look at it and figure out what's going on. So this is a closer look at the tires that I mentioned earlier, how they're worn on the inside edge, and the outside edge is, sorry about that, the outside edge is way better. So there's definitely some stuff going on in the front end. Like I say, you can hear a lot of clunking going on, so we'll get it figured out.
Go ahead. There's that wheel burning.
Wheel bearing.
Okay.
And a lower ball joint.
Yeah, you know, I can hear it in the center there. Here. First look at the idler over on this side.
Alright.
And then go over to this side and the gearbox is moving.
Wonder if it's loose.
But it's like cupped, like it's got bushings or something.
Oh, there's the steering.
You see that? Right? That idler?
You're talking the centerpiece, right?
Well, it's all the way to the right.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And that's actually clunking.
Yeah, that's really loose.
Yeah. Now look at the gearbox for a moment.
I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't checked it out. I want to get up on the lift, take some pictures of it, and find any numbers on it so I can look at it.
Go ahead. Upper is really bad.
Yeah, I can totally feel it. Bottom looks good though.
Bottom, yeah.
Okay. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Lower driver, upper right, idler.
And then see what the gearbox is.
Why the gearbox?
Second.
All right, something that we're going to check is that when you put the throttle all the way to the floor, that the butterflies open all the way up.
That doesn't even feel right.
You want to do it again?
I got it to the floor.
Oh, let off. Go ahead. They're moving like a quarter of the way.
Yeah.
And so none of that's adjusted right. So that's why this car has no power. I mean, they're like barely moving. If you look right here, you can probably see it. You ready?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, you're moving it like 10% maybe.
Yeah.
Even your throttle, your pump, your fuel.
Yeah, it's not enough to hardly make that squirt. It just trickled out the first time.
Yeah,
that
your
was
accelerator pump's only moving that much.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You didn't know much about cars. I mean, I can feel it when I step on the gas.
Right. That was what struck me today. I'm like, there's no travel in the throttle on this thing at all. So, what's interesting is what he told me when I got this. He said it was passed along to him that when the guy put the engine back in after rebuilding it, he detuned it for like break-in. I'm like, well, that's what he did. He didn't put any throttle travel.
Right.
So, okay.
I never heard of detuning it.
No, me neither.
You can see how much more travel you have. I still think you need more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more.
It's not enough though.
So I need to run the rod in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Pull that back.
Hopefully that's enough.
You got more to go in than out, so I'm thinking. Oh
Yeah,
no.
you're gonna say I'm turning this in.
Yeah.
I've got a ½ inch.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's enough. If not, I mean, this can get tweaked. All right, I'll show you guys a little bit what we were looking at. Is right back there. See if I can get the light back there. There's some thread, and I think that needs to be adjusted because what's happening when you push the pedal in the car, it's not moving that linkage far enough to make it open up. And then this piece right over here is the kickdown adjustment, and so I'll need to adjust that once the throttle linkage is all set up. All right, there's a clip on the back of here. I'm going to try to get this off without losing it. That'll be the big fun. And we dropped it. All right, now we'll check the throttle plate again. I'll have Ed actuate it. All right, go ahead and do it. It's about 95% right now, so that's way better. Yeah, I mean, I could look at it. Something might need to, one of the brackets I think might get tweaked,
yeah.
and then it would be better. Let me see if I can move this kick down while you're sitting there.
You know, Ken, I don't know if I moved that because I think I want it on the lift to see where it is.
Oh, okay.
And is it free? Is it binding before I touched anything?
Okay. No, that's fair enough.
Makes sense?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're good. Thank you. So what I'm doing down here is this thing, this shaft, doesn't line up with the gas pedal, and I need to tweak it over. If you look at it straight on, it looks like it's maybe got a little bow in it. I need to straighten that out so that little wheel rides in the straight, or in the middle of the gas pedal. I got that all readjusted, got the gas pedal readjusted. Let's try it out.
What was that?
So I just hit the brake. You know, it popped into reverse right when the RPM was up.
It won't pop in now, right?
I was just touching the...
That was such a weird sound, Ken. I pictured something happening.
Well, the belt squealed. That's probably what it mainly was. It was a little fun, so when it started up and revved up, and I had my hand there, and I think I must have just had just enough pressure on it.
I could see a little squeal mark.
Yeah. Okay, right there, it keeps popping into reverse, so I'm definitely going to have to look at something when I adjust the transmission on it and see what's going on with that. It's one of those things on old cars, you got to be really careful with where you're standing, what's behind you, what's in front of you. Safety first. The throttle's way better though, so that's excellent. All right, I notice there's a water leak here too. You can see it spraying out. I think it's from that hose right there. I might be able to get this low enough and be able to see it. Yeah, I think that's what it is. another thing we get to do. Alright, we got this up on the lift. Let's take a look at the bottom side. That's exactly what the bottoms of those quarters should look like. You can see the welds in them yet. Little overspray on the bottom of the trunk pan, but it's in great shape. You can see all the welds here. That looks really nice. The floors and everything are fantastic in this car. You can see the back side of the bottom of the quarters over here. These still have the Ford resonators on them yet, on both sides. Try to get a little more light for you. But these floors are really nice. Trying to figure out what the best angle is so you can see them. These things are awesome. No rust at all. So this is one of the clunks right here. Can't hold the light and there you can see it. Everything up under here looks really nice. I gotta figure out where our leak is coming from. If I do it this way, you'll be able to see better. You can see this is really nice. I know in one of the receipts they said they had some exhaust work done, and I think what they did is they took the mufflers out. So overall, pretty nice car. Things are just nice. Let me go to the other side. Super nice. You can see all the factory spot welds still in place. That's awesome. If you look here, one of the headlights is still original. You can see it says Fomoco on it. Alright, if you can see that rod here, it's, let me get this up right here. That's the adjustment for the shift linkage. Sorry, this is super hard to see. The nut is behind that wire right there. Let me see if I can move that out of the way so you can see it. Maybe you can see it from this side. But anyway, there's a nut. And so I went up there and I found out that down changes the gears. So if that lever moves down, here you might be able to see it. That goes, you know, park is all the way up and then reverse neutral drive. And so what I did is I readjusted that lever. So I'm going to try it now and see if it stays in park better or if I have any issues there. Alright, I started the car up, put the headlights on, I'm checking if all the lights work. So all of those are on. The tail lights and the headlights are on. Looks like they're misadjusted. You can see one over there on the wall is real low and this one's real high. So let's see if it goes to high beam. I saw something switch. Oh, I'm caught. The indicator on the dash is high beam. There we go. That one's technically burned out, but it works, so I'll have to see if I have another one of those at home, which I'm sure I do. So all those lights work. Let's try the turn signals. blinks on the corner there. Blinks down there. Let's try the back. And it blinks there. Let's try the other side. 65 and 66 T-Birds have the sequential, but the 64s do not. Alright, so that one blinks. We saw the brake lights and the reverse lights in the other video when I was unloading it from the trailer. That one works there. That one works there. So all the lights work. So that's awesome. Thing runs pretty smoothly. It does need a tune-up though, so we'll be working on that. The next thing I'll check are the controls. Let's put it on heat. Yeah, the blower works. Slows down, off. See if it goes to defrost. Sounds like it's blowing up there. Yeah, there's just a little bit, I guess. The other thing that's interesting is if you look at the clock is moving. The vents move. It is blowing up top. When I did that, it changed the blow up on top all the way. Wipers work. There, it came down on the floor. That's off. Alright, cool. All this stuff works. Window goes up. Leave that down for now. Window goes up. I know the back ones need work, so those work. So, alright. We're good to go. 30,012 miles showing. Alright, we're going to check the transmission fluid now. We'll do that with the car running and we'll see where it's at. I'm going to move the camera. The dipstick's way down here. There we go. You always want to read this. It says, check when hot, idling in park. So we're going to do that. Let me fire it up. It's pretty warm right now, but I'll let it run a little bit. So I'm going to shut the camera off. We'll let it run a little bit, make sure it's warm. We're going to go ahead and check it. Right at the bottom, see there's a frog in there. Alright, we put about a half a quart in. We'll check it again and see where it's at. I think we're right on the full mark, but let me just double check it. Yeah, we're right on full, and the trans fluid looks really good, so that's excellent news. All right, let's look at the brakes. This looks to be in pretty good shape. It looks like a wheel cylinder was put in not too long ago, and the brakes are in good shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit and put it back together. Alright, one of the issues that I was having on this car is that the horn did not work. I could hear the relay clicking. That's the horn relay right there. I found a bad wire there, so I cleaned that up and spliced it. And then it was still really sketchy. It was, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. I checked all the grounds on the horns. I used a power probe like that to do some testing on it, and what Ed and I determined was going on is that this relay wasn't making good contact every time. So it seems like the relay is the problem, so I'm going to go ahead and get a new relay ordered and we'll get this taken care of. That relay is mounted on the inner fender. I'm on the front driver's side of the car, and it was just mounted to the inner fender there, so that's where it was hiding. Alright, this is leaking a little bit of trans fluid, and so we were up here kind of looking at it, trying to figure out. You can see it's on that cross member there, and if you look, if I can get the light up in there, it's leaking on the trans line right over there where it goes from metal to rubber hose. So I'm going to have to tighten that up a little bit. That's probably why I had to put a little trans fluid in the transmission yesterday when I was going through everything. So anyway, we'll take care of that too. Alright, this clamp right here was the one we were looking at from down below, and it definitely was loose, so I snugged it up, so hopefully that takes care of that transmission fluid leak. Now we're going to go in and check the park position thing and see if that's taken care of. I had to adjust it one more time. I tried it once and it wasn't quite right yet, so I'm going to go check it out again. Alright guys, I'm up under the dash of the T-Bird, and you see there's 3 bolts right here. I can show them to you, and I think that's what's causing the neutral safety switch issue that we're having with the starting. Let me get over here. I think that has something to do with it. It's either that or it's the swing away part of the column. I'm not sure, but either way, those 3 bolts are loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten those up and then readjust that right there. To hopefully get this thing to work a little better. It's so tight under here, I'm going to have to set the camera down, so I'm not going to be able to show you me doing it, but we're going to give this a try. Alright guys, this is back under the dash. This piece right here is the adjuster for the slide away feature on the steering wheel, and that's what I was working on. It was bone dry, it didn't work real well. I had to grease everything up. I think you can hopefully see all the grease. It's so tight under here. But anyway, these were the screws that were loose right up over there, and I readjusted that, tightened them down, adjusted that adjuster. This little flap thing right here moves, and that's what locks the steering wheel from sliding over when you're in anything but park. So right now, I'm going to pull the camera out. So it's in park right now, so the steering slides nice and smoothly. You put it in reverse, and it's locked. Put it back in park, it slides smoothly. So that's a big thing. That was barely working. Sometimes I struggle to get it in park. It all seems to be moving pretty well right now. I think what I need to do now is adjust the shift linkage again, because I think that was what this steering column was causing me the problems on the shifter linkage. So I'm going to take a look at that again as well. Alright, I started that 3 times in a row and it worked okay. So you can see it's much more closer to the park. There's a chance I'd have to adjust it one more time, just a tiny bit, but I think it's okay at this point. So I think everything is good with the adjustment on it. Alright guys, today we're going to take a look at this horn relay, or take care of it. I got a new part here, so we're going to go ahead and install it and see if everything works. Alright, I plugged it in. I'm going to go in and try it. Alright, that was the issue. Bad horn relay, so I'm going to go ahead and bolt it up. Actually, I think I'm going to tape that up a little bit more, make that a little nicer. Alright guys, we're having an alignment issue with this light right here, so I'm going to go ahead and take this bezel and everything off and take a look at it. Alright, let me show you what's going on with it here. Get the camera off. There's a piece missing right in here. You can see it on this one. There's a screw. So I've got to find one of those adjuster assemblies, and that'll take care of this. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see in there, but I got that screw in there and started. What I did is I took one of these and got that in there and got it started, and with a little help from my boy Robert. And anyway, we were able to pull that in. So now, come nighttime, we'll be able to adjust that a little bit, or I'll have to put it on a wall or something. But anyway, it's in place now. It's all set to be adjusted. Alright, I've got that headlight bolted in right. I'm just going to get a rough adjustment on the height. So I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard. I just made a mark on the cardboard from the other light. This one's almost right on the money to where the other one is, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to put the cover back on. Oop, upside down. All right, there we go. This was missing one screw down here, so I found another screw to replace it, so we're good to go. Check another thing off the list. All right, guys, this headlight is not working. I banged on it and got it to come on the other day, but it's not working again, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. Unfortunately, that's an original light, so it's old, so it's not unexpected, I guess. All right, one last check. Awesome, all done. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to checking out the carburetor on this car to see what kind of condition it appears to be in. A lot of times the way you find this stuff out is just simply to drive the car. These cars need to be driven, and you can learn a lot by driving them. Something I noticed on this car is that when it's cold, like when you first started up in the morning, you know, it didn't run as good. It seemed cold-blooded. And so what I actually did yesterday behind your back was I pulled the air cleaner off and looked at the choke. It was open. I ran the throttle to the floor and let go of it, and the choke did not drop closed. What I found out is that the linkage was binding a little bit, and it basically just popped loose at one point. So, and it seemed to be in the right position at that point. So what I'm going to do today is see if that solved the problem, just some binding linkage. So we're going to go ahead and take the air cleaner off and check it out. Okay, so right now the choke is actually just slightly closed. I didn't take it for a really long ride yesterday, so that may have been where it ended up. So at this point, when I push the throttle back, that choke should drop closed again. So let's see if it does that. It was a little slow, but it did drop closed. So I think there was some binding linkage. I'm gonna put a little spray in there and try to clean that linkage up a little bit. I can tell it's a little bit stiff. There's like a little gunk in there or something, but it is functioning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little WD-40 or something and spray some of that linkage and see why it's, you know, get some of the gunk out of it. All right, we got some carb cleaner. We're gonna go ahead and give a lot of this a good spray. Alright, it's moving a little freer. It's still a little bit sticky. That should just drop down. I'm going to keep spraying it, keep working it, and see if we can get it to work a little better. Alright, it's moving more freely now, which is great. I'm going to let that WD-40 soak for a little bit, let it get in those joints. I have a feeling there's some crud in those joints yet that's making it not operate as smoothly as it should. Alright, I messed with this for a little while, and you can see now it's starting to work more freely. It's hitting on the high idle cam right now, but you can see that choke is moving much more freely at this point. So I think we've got that straightened out. Again, drive the car. Driving the car makes such a huge difference on so many things. I have had so many things repair themselves because you just drive the car. It is so bad for a car just to leave it sit. So take it out for a drive. Alright guys, you know when you get these cans, the little straws are taped onto the side of the can, and you know, once you pull it out once or twice, the tape breaks, these come loose, and you know, you always got the straw just kind of wherever you lose them. Well, here's something most people I don't think know. If you look at these caps, there's two cutouts in the cap. Let me bring it up here a little closer so you can maybe see it. It goes across here, here, and here. Well, what that's for is when you have the lid on the can, you just snap the straw into it, and then the straw doesn't fall out. So you always have the straw without losing it. Let me know in the comments below if you knew that or not. I'm going to be working on an idler arm bushing today. It's this right up here. You can see this is horrifically loose. So we got a new bushing for it. I'll show you what the bushing looks like. It's right here. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. Alright, there it is. Now we just have to press this bushing, the metal part of this bushing out, and then we can press the new one in. Hopefully the socket's a little smaller in the hole so it comes out. It worked! Woohoo! Getting really close. Just another pump or two and I think we'll have it. Alright, I'm going to take a look at the shaft that it goes on, make sure it's all in really good shape. It looks really nice. I'm going to put a little grease on it. I'm going to grease inside the joint. It's upside down, but yeah, make sure everything goes on. It's not gonna fit on. I'm gonna have to unbolt this. There was enough slop in it before there was room, so I'm gonna go ahead and grease this and then unbolt that. Alright, it's all done. Doesn't wobble anymore. We'll make sure the steering turns nice and smooth. I don't want any issues with the steering binding up, so we'll give that a try next. Alright, it turns nice and smooth, nothing's in the way. Now this isn't super good. Let me show you something that I just saw. That bolt right there on the steering is not tightened. I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't know if you can see it, I think I'm getting the light weird. There you go, you can see it there. I'll tighten that up. Alright, let's take T-Bird out for a ride and see how we did on the steering. Make sure everything's good to go on it. We need to do some more tune-up work on this. I think the choke is working pretty well now, so I think we're good there. So at this point, I just got to start looking at the timing and all that good stuff. So I can tell you the steering feels a whole lot better already. It doesn't clunk. Wow, it's way tighter. Once we get those ball joints done, it'll be even better yet. Then we'll take it in, get an alignment done, and keep moving on it. It's like night and day difference. Actually drives fairly straight. The steering wheel's off some, you know, but the alignment, of course, will take care of that. Yeah, there's no clunking at all. This feels way better. I mean, it just drives like a whole different car at this point. Alright, I'm getting ready to do the ball joints. I'm going to be doing the upper ball joint on the passenger side, and then on the driver's side, we're going to be doing a lower ball joint. So both lowers in this car are original. I don't know about the uppers. They probably are original as well. So the bottom on the driver's side here is a riveted on joint, and then the top is a press-in joint. So we'll get to see one of each. Alright, so we're going to do the upper passenger side first. We got to take the tie rod end off and then loosen the ball joint screw and drop it down. Alright, so we're working on taking the lower driver's side apart. We got a bunch of that, but we're going to have to take the backing plate off for the brakes in order to get that to drop down far enough. Sorry, it's hard to keep the light. There we go. You can see it's hitting on the bottom of the backing plate, so we're going to have to drop that down and do it that way. Let me get over to the other side, see if you can see it there. Sorry, got to get the light just right so the camera focuses on it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set the timing on here. So I've got the vacuum advance plugged off, and This should be at 6 degrees before top dead center. Alright, that's 6. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. The wrench is a little close to the fan, so that's why I'm shutting it off. And then I'll just double check it when I'm done. Alright, we're right on 6 degrees. It was considerably off when we started. I didn't look exactly where it was, but it was considerably off. Alright, I gotta get a screwdriver and then we'll set up the vacuum on the carb and test that. Okay, I pulled this vacuum line off. The end of this is in a little bit rough shape, so I'm gonna go ahead and snip it off. It's all cracked and everything. Make a nice clean end. Block that off just in case it goes anywhere, and then I'm gonna hook the vacuum up to it. Alright, the gauge is sitting nice and even. That's great news. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the idle mix screws in until I get the most vacuum. Just a little bit at a time each one. That vacuum gauge will go up to a point as I turn those screws in, and then eventually it'll start to lose again. And I want to get it at the peak vacuum. Right now we started at like 17, we're at about 18 and a half. Alright, we dropped down to 18 there, so I'm going to back those up and go to that 18 and a half, and I think that'll do it. nice and steady at 18.5, so I think that's it's actually even creeping up closer to 19. Yeah, we're still right at 18.5. Belt squeal. Yeah, we're holding right at 18.5, so I think that's good. Alright, I'm checking the dwell right now. It looks like it's off a little bit. I'm going to have to check the gap on the points and see where those are at. Okay, I like that setting better. I feel like I'm getting the full adjustment out of it this way. Alright, I feel like that's pretty darn close, so I think we're good. I'm just going to take a little piece of emery paper and just touch that up a little bit as long as I got it open, and then I'll put it back together. I just take a piece of emery paper to these and just get them all cleaned up and shiny if there's any junk built up on them. And we just keep going around in there. You guys don't need to see it all. Alright, I just did the tune-up on this thing. I'm going to pull the steering wheel back over, fire it up, and see how it is going into gear. Fires right up, runs good. Nice. There's no hesitation. It had a hesitation before. I can't drive it because the front end's still half apart from the ball joints, but we'll get that taken care of. But I mean, overall, it feels really nice. So I think the tune-up was a success. All right, I'm sure you've heard this car squeal a couple times when it started. I think the ooh, that's a little warm. The power steering belt is maybe a little bit too loose. This one seems a little tighter for the alternator. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can't snug this up a little bit and get that squealing to go away. Alright, not sure if that's better or not, but let's give it a try. Nope, guess we'll have to look at that a little more. Alright guys, today we're going to replace the belts in the car so we can hopefully get rid of that squealing. Got the first one out here, and it's pretty worn on the side, so this is probably the one that's squealing. So now I got to get the other one out over here. Alright, we got the other one out. This looks like it's in about the same shape where it looks old. Compare them up to the other ones. They seem like they're the right belts and the same length, so we're going to put them in. Alright, I got the new belts put on. They're pretty tight. That one I may be able to do a little bit better. This one's really nice and snug. But I mean, I think it's tight enough where it'll work just fine. So these belts, see if I can get it in the light and show you. See how shiny they are on the side? They're just wore out. They're old and wore out. So when they get real shiny, that's when they squeal. All right, got the belts on. Let's start her up and see if they squeal. Cross your fingers. Alright, nice and quiet. Alright, I got in the groove and got a little ahead of myself. I just unscrewed, there's 2 screws on each side for the armrest. And I took that off. The back seat just pops straight up. And now there's 4 screws holding the bottom of those, the back of the seat in. So I'm going to grab some tools and take those out. Both of these back windows, the motors work, but the windows don't move up and down, so I have a feeling that the in by the gear there's a part worn out. It's kind of common on Fords. So I took 3 pieces of hose and wedged it in there, and we can't turn this. I mean, there's a little flex to it, but I don't think you can turn past it. So I'm going to try to put that back in there now and see what happens. Hi guys, the T-Bird's gonna go live somewhere new, so I thought I'd give you guys one last look at it. I gave it a bath, kind of got it all shined up, so here you go. Alright, I've got some extra parts for this car that are going to go with it, so I'm going to go ahead and get them loaded up. Alright, that'll do it. Alright, that's going to do it for the 1964 Thunderbird. I hope you enjoyed watching the car. Be sure to come back next time to see what we work on next. Thanks for watching.